So did I sign in? It's kind of petty. Anywho, how are you doing this afternoon? I hope you can hear me. This is the Deep State Talk Show Afternoon Report. We're going to talk about some subjects that have come across the news, some pretty comical, some pretty obvious of the deep state. Other than that, last night I did a show talking about the tricks, the rituals, and the games displayed in the Olympics this past weekend. Hold on, give me a second. There we go. We're gonna close that. Sorry, guys. System. There we go. All right. So we talked about the games that happened this past weekend and all the rituals that were going on and whatnot. And it was a pretty bad spectacle. A lot of people are talking about it. France is actually protesting right now, saying that the actual games were pretty much inappropriate and it should have never happened. While that is extremely fair, I do think it's notable to mention that we kind of knew this was coming. If you've seen the Olympics are that way for a long time. This is nothing new at all. Okay. Now, getting on to the good stuff. All right. So I got up this morning. I got up this morning and was checking the tabloids, and this came across me. Google omits Trump assassination attempt from a key feature as Don Jr. claims big tech is trying to interfere in the election. Look, so I personally think this. There's something to this. I'm not gonna lie to you. We're gonna play devil's advocate right now. Okay. So I mentioned last night that I think CrowdStrike pushed a button and tried to maybe clean the slate on information that had came out, and like considering what was going on, it would make sense. Because when CrowdStrike happened, Biden stepped down, making him kind of look guilty as if he knew something was going on. Now, a couple weeks later, everyone's saying Google's omitting certain key details from the assassination attempt. So, me personally, I find it pretty comical right now. So, we're going to go through this, all right? I'm dismiss that. It says a key Google feature is failing to show the results for the attempted assassination of Donald Trump, drawing claims from the former president's son that big tech companies are trying to influence the election. It's not like something we haven't heard before. This is really common, all right? They always assume someone's cheating, and they usually are. It also has sparked a Senate investigation. Google users were surprised to discover that the search engine's autocomplete was apparently omitting suggested results related to the assassination attempt against Donald Trump. The anomaly quickly caught the attention of social media users, including a Texas congressman and Donald Trump Jr., who began sharing screenshots of their own examples showing Google search suggestions coming up empty for queries about deadly Pennsylvania rally shooting. If I were them, I would want to delete that whole situation too. If you tried to do it and carry it out and it didn't work, yeah, you look bad right now. So what else was supposed to happen? How would you think not to get rid of that and delete it? That's just my opinion. Now I mentioned CrowdStrike because I just think it's coincidental that CrowdStrike had the outage as Biden was stepping out. And like I said, it did make him look slightly guilty. And I'm going to tell you why. So, if the assassination attempt was random, sure, then it would make sense. Biden's feeling like, okay, people may blame me. But remember, 2 weeks before this, people were saying, hey, since Trump has immunity, so does Biden. And Biden should use agencies to take out former President Donald Trump. Now we fast forward and that happens. You have majority saying they don't believe what they saw. On top of Donald Trump is still alive. And the fact that if he's still alive, clearly their shooter wasn't that great. Because if he wasn't, think about this, guys. Had Donald Trump taken that bullet head on, literally, we would have lost two big tickets on the card and possibly two people being replaced with quote unquote more deep state puppets or controlled opposition. Not saying that these two up here are not some form of controlled opposition. What I'm saying is that it's really coincidental that you would have had two presidents gone in a major global outage a week of each other. So seeing that Trump didn't die, government agencies were like, "Hey, we got to kind of erase all this information." Now, I heard another theory. Like I had mentioned it last night. I heard another theory where someone stated that had both of them stepped down, had Trump been wiped out and Biden been pushed out, and they're saying the major CrowdStrike outage global would have been the button push that we've all been looking for. We've all been waiting on this button push, and we didn't know when or where it would come from. But I think it's coincidental that Trump assassination, Biden catches COVID and steps down at the same time as the CrowdStrike outage, global. Now, at this point, with Google admitting stuff, I would like to think now that maybe they took the time during the CrowdStrike outage to erase a lot of documents. Why would you say that, Marcus? Because CrowdStrike is big proponent of DoD cybersecurity. They're the ones handling all of their cybersecurity needs and firewalls and information storage and shredding. So wouldn't it make sense if all the global agencies involved with CrowdStrike just happened to get rid of all their documents the same time we had all this going on in our country, right? Okay. Now you think now like looking at this, right, as I'm going through this, like listen to this, right? The Post performed a series of test Google searches with the last names of US presidents who were killed or faced attempts on their lives, followed by letters assassin. You know, you could type in letters and predictive typing comes up and it'll give you the word. To see what autocomplete suggested, including John F. Kennedy, Abraham Lincoln, General Ford, Ronald Reagan, and Teddy Roosevelt. In each instance, a helpful list of recommended search terms related to the attempts on their lives sprang into view. However, however, when Trump's name was used, autocomplete offered no suggestions whatsoever. Even the keywords Trump assassination attempt yielded no additional terms from Google. Now, what do you think? Who really trusts Google? Does anyone really trust Google like as their own app, like not running through them with a firewall or going through them through another browser or search engine like Yandex, Mojik, Firefox, ways that are getting rid of Google search habits, right? So right now there's something happening, and I'm gonna bring you to another one. Look at this. Got another article that's gonna play into this. CIA denies conspiracy theory that it used MK Ultra on Trump shooter. Why would you think they would want to delete that man name in the internet now? Maybe because looking at the life log or the records of the servers and all the search history, people are reading a whole lot more right now. People are picking up and trying to understand what's playing out in front of them because now it seems too obvious. It is way too obvious right now to point out there is something wrong. So the CIA has denied the conspiracy theory that MK Ultra or the Trump shooter. So you already know what that's called. We call those Manchurian candidates. All right. Says was the attempted assassination on former President Donald Trump earlier this month part of a secret CIA program involving brainwashed killers. That's the claim being made by some far-right accounts on Twitter. But the U.S. intelligence agency is taking unusual step of directly and forcefully denying the claims. Okay, what do we call these? We call these Manchurian candidates. If you've seen the old movie or the new movie with Denzel, like mid-90s, I believe, ish, like you would know what I'm talking about. But they're going to go here. Listen to this. When it was revealed in the 1970s that the CIA had tried to develop a mind manipulation program called MK Ultra, it sounded like the most absurd conspiracy theory around. Unfortunately, it turned out to be true. Even if the suggestive results of the program and potential for creating Manchurian candidate-like killers have been exaggerated, in the subsequent decades. All those S's. But MK Ultra has become quite a meme in the 2020s, with many conspiracy theorists jumping into the fray after Trump was shot by a 20-year-old during a rally in Butler, Pennsylvania on July 13th. Thomas Matthew Crooks was who acted alone, but some people on social media trying to claim Crooks was somehow trained by the CIA under the MK Ultra program to go after Trump. Okay, now, why would people say this? Why would people say this? Let's go back in history with the deep state. Kennedy. Because Lee Harvey Oswald was also thought to be a Manchurian candidate. He gets on record, I want to say either it was like after the court hearing or one of the situations where they have him on recording stating he didn't do it. He didn't do it, whatnot, this and that. While it could be true, it remains to be seen, confirmed, denied, even though the CIA acknowledged in their records that they had something to do with his death. That's in their records. That's on the CIA website. This is not fake news, all right? Believe what you want, but people already know MK Ultra existed. It's not anything new. The movies were just letting you know because they had to exonerate themselves and tell you the truth, okay? What if U.S. President Joe Biden, sorry. Oh, what if U.S. President Joe Biden's mean tweets triggered Thomas Matthew Crooks on one X account that goes by the name Real Global News? Yes, I'm like an MK Ultra test subject. I don't want to go on conspiracy theories here, but the CIA did mind control experiments like Manchurian candidates. So you know Twitter's filthy. They'll talk about you no matter what. They don't care. But this is the conversation, and this is why we're talking about Google omitting stuff, and now Alphabet Boys are trying to deny. And it could be the young man could have acted alone. I'm not saying I know this is true, and it's not. I don't know. The young man could have easily got it in his mind that he was supposed to be the hero. I don't know. I said last night, people don't go out there and be a martyr. It's not worth it. It's not worth trying to be a martyr. No one wants to do that to themselves. You say you do, but you really don't. And I highly doubt this 20-year-old young man was ready to go be a martyr. I just don't believe that at all. It says the CIA, for its part, decided to push back very publicly against these claims, something the agency doesn't do often when weird conspiracy theories are floating around on the internet. This is very true. They typically don't say nothing. They don't even acknowledge it because they're like, basically, fake news. Why would we talk about it? But something has their attention, all right? Follow me. CrowdStrike outage, Google omitting, and now Alphabet Boys sitting here saying, hey, we deny all of that. That would never happen. Now this just makes them seem guilty because they don't say anything typically. Deep State typically doesn't put out messages after stuff like this. They just kind of let the news do the cleanup, put the fire out, both sides put out their propaganda, and they go from there. Like, it's just how it has to play out because they don't do stuff like that. They don't come out and say stuff. That's just not their aim, all right? The claims are utterly false, absurd and damaging. A CIA spokesperson told Gizmodo on Thursday the CIA had no relationship whatsoever with Thomas Matthew Crooks regarding MK Ultra. The CIA's program was shut down more than 40 years ago. Where's it at? Laughs. Who believes that? Okay, sure. And it was declassified about the information and is publicly available. That's true. It is publicly available, but that doesn't mean you stop doing it. You seem real guilty right now. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying right now. They seem real guilty, right? The CIA's denial, first reported by Wired and confirmed by Gizmodo after we reached out, suggests the agency is perhaps now more willing to engage with the public after so many decades of stereotypical no comment. or glamour responses on just about everything. Come on, guys. Think about this, man. How often do they say something? How often do you get them to really come out in the open and say fake news? That does not happen often. Wake up, people. Wake up, okay? Something's wrong. They know they effed up somewhere. Something happened. The CrowdStrike, the Google omitting stuff now, and now CIA coming out saying, "Oh, well, we that's not something we're known for anymore." Oh, okay. Yeah. Get ready, people. I'm telling you, there's a lot of things that are going to slowly start coming out. I know I say that a lot, but this is the truth right now. That part is the truth. You're about to start seeing and hearing things you would have never thought of, okay? It's surprising that Trump supporters would float conspiracy theories. It's not surprising, excuse me, the Trump supporters would float conspiracy theories like the idea that Crooks was part of the MK Ultra program. It's really their entire brand. Trump himself has fanned the flames of ridiculous conspiracy theories over the years, often pushing dog whistles that QAnon is real. He does push a lot of dog whistles, okay? This is the chaos. Order out of chaos, guys. Order out of chaos. Believers in the QAnon conspiracy theory think that there's a secret cabal of Democratic politicians and Hollywood power players who are drinking the blood of children while engaging in ritual torture and rape. And the only person who can save those kids from the fate is none other than Donald Trump, the sex criminal with ties to Jeffrey Epstein that date back decades. That is honesty. Honesty, honesty, honesty. I'm not going front. I typically don't follow the gizmodo, but I'm going to be honest. Think about what he just said. He's trying to make you guys think about it. He wants everyone to think about what people are saying right now, okay? If you really believe Trump is trying to take down the deep state, then you clearly have to acknowledge Trump is part of the deep state. That's the only way this is happening. This is the only, no one, this platform, myself, no one like myself is going to go against the deep state and do that much damage. You would have to do it from the inside. Trump himself, while he could be just the other side of the table, does not make him less deep state. He's still a part. We're just dealing with his shit on his side of the table against the other side of the table. I don't say that this article is completely off. I don't think it's completely Democrats. I think it's both sides. I've been said it's both sides. I don't know how other way to put this and then to tell you it's both sides. But for the right, the people who are following this man are clearly saying that Trump is going to fight the deep state, but not acknowledging Trump has been hanging with the deep state the whole entire time. So you're telling me, and sure, he could be bloodline. His family was rich, billionaire. His daddy left him money. So this isn't anything unheard of like the rest of the guys and women in this thing. They all get left money and they all come from corporations and big families and all of this. Look at the Rothschilds and the Hiltons. They just married two of their grandchildren or great-grandchildren 3-4 months ago. So it's not unheard of that this is how bloodlines keep themselves together. They marry other bloodlines. What I'm saying right now, this afternoon, on the afternoon Deep State Report, is that you are going to have to acknowledge Trump being a part of the deep state just as much as you're despising the other side of the deep state. You have to acknowledge it. There's no other way. Trump supporters may be some of the dumbest people on planet. It depends on which ones you're talking to. Depends on which ones you're talking to. That's all I'm gonna say. But it's easy to see why even normal people can believe conspiracy theories. There's a lot of weird stuff that happens in the world, and sometimes these rumors turn out to be true. Very unbiased. This is probably one of the more unbiased pieces I've read in a while. I read it this morning and was like, okay. Fundamentally, the MK Ultra program was focused on ways to mentally break people who were being interrogated. Test subjects were sometimes given mind-altering drugs without their knowledge, and the program included countless other abuses, including sexual assault and torture. And while that's all horrific enough, the CIA never created a Manchurian candidate that could be programmed to kill whoever the agency wanted dead. At least one of the best of anyone's knowledge based on the thousands of pages of records has been uncovered. But obviously, when rampant abuse of human beings occurs at the hands of US government, people are ready to take those ideas and run with them to all kinds of other areas in their lives. We still do not have a known motive why Crooks shot at Trump. And he still leaves it open to say it could be true. I'm not saying it is. I'm saying the fact that the CIA is starting to come out openly and admit that, hey, we're no longer involved in this kind of stuff should tell you everything. That's all I'm saying. If it doesn't, then, continue on with your day and take it for what it is. You don't have to listen to me. But what we're all saying in this community is that there is clearly something going on. And in this last 2-3 weeks of script with Netanyahu showing up and everything going to shit in DC with the protests and the graffiti and all that, listen, man, we say the world is a stage, and if you're biblical, they say Satan never made you do anything. He just gives you the platform to perform on, gives you the stage, okay? And this is the whole deep state spiel, whatever you want to call it, that the Hegelian dialect is to cause the issue and then give us a solution once we're down and out, which is part of MK Ultra. If you starve a person out and give them enough abuse, they'll eventually beg for the solution. And that's kind of how this is playing out right now. All right. Now, again, these are just articles. Take it how you want. But understand, you're on my channel. We're talking about the deep state. Hope you're learning something. Hope you're learning something right now. We're going to the next article. All right. Now, we're still on this subject. We're moving slowly, but we're getting through it. It's 3 articles I wanted to put together from the Post Millennial, Gizmodo, and the New York Post. At this point, I pull my articles from anywhere because I know it's all propaganda, but I know somewhere they're going to sprinkle in some information that I need. You just have to be willing to look for that information. All right. Revealed counter sniper tech show they were aware of Thomas Matthew Crooks 90 minutes before Trump shooting. So this propaganda, if you knew, you're just stoking the flames of everybody. You see how I piece this? You see why we're saying the things we're saying, because you're putting out shit like this. There's no way you can make us believe you saw that man for 90 minutes and didn't say nothing. Didn't do anything. That just doesn't make sense for anybody. So we're going to get through this one a little quick. We're going to move on to the next articles, all right? Donald Trump is going to meet with the FBI for an interview after it was revealed that the counter snipers were aware of the would-be assassin, Thomas Matthew Crooks, 90 minutes before the assassination attempt took place. According to the Associated Press, Trump has agreed to do an interview with the FBI after the agency has been asking for the opportunity to do so over the last few days. This is being reported as revelations on text from the counter sniper are coming to light. All right. So as the weeks go on, again, I say the information they're putting out to us is just the fuel, is just to kind of keep it going, because this is why we're saying the things we're saying, these reports. All right. But remember the CrowdStrike, I told you, something happened. They had to get rid of some information. Some things can't ever leak out. Sometimes you got to hit Control Alt Delete. I'm done. In the text message obtained by the New York Times, one counter sniper texted at 4:26 p.m. that he noticed a man who was later confirmed to be Crooks at a picnic table. Someone followed our lead and snuck in and parked by our cars, just so you know. I'm just letting you know because you see me go out with my rifle and put it in my car, so he knows you guys are up there. The counter sniper who was ending his shift wrote in a group chat. The chat had multiple agents on the team protecting Trump that day. And this is why we all assume it's fake. You cannot make me believe for anything in my mind that all these agencies are that damn slow. There is no way y'all dropped the ball that bad. It's just not feasible. Either this is a show or y'all need to fire your recruiters and all agencies, because there is no way this happened the way they're telling us. And so if I have to use my logical thinking right now, I'm going to assume that most of this is propaganda and they're just trying to push everyone into a different direction. Now, there are people who are catching on, courtesy of technology and video cameras and editing software. You can see whatever you want. You can find it if you look hard enough. And sometimes you can fabricate it. AI's a motherfucker right now. Okay? Let's not act like AI ain't being used. So, right now, there's so much filth and misinformation out there. It's hard to take in what's going on. And me personally, I've already said, there's no way that whatever they're telling us it happened. They showed this man's ear. If you go, when we get to this, I'm going to show a picture of Trump recently with Bibi. His ear is fine. I'm no ballistics expert. I'm not. I'm an enthusiast. I go shooting every now and then. I'm not some hardened person who knows his stuff, but I'm just saying 5.56 going through an ear, I see that ear being gone. Like his deductive reasoning, anybody? All right, just hear me out. The one calling off his shift said Crooks was sitting to the direct right on a picnic table about 50 yards from the exit, in a message sent at 4:27 p.m., just a little over 90 minutes before Crooks fired off the shots. Two other counter snipers sent messages to acknowledge that they saw the text from the sniper ending his shift. One counter sniper sent a message at 5:38 p.m. containing pictures of Crooks to the chat, "Kid learning around building we're in," one wrote. "I did see him with the rangefinder looking towards stage. FYI, if you want to notify SS snipers to look out. I lost sight of him. Photo of Crooks outside the building where he were also sent to the chat." No comms, secure. I mean, I hope they're not in WhatsApp. Hope they're not in Discord. You know what I'm saying? Be another information leak. Clearly, no one's paying attention. Again, this does not sound believable, but this came across my screen and I had to go ahead and pull it out to prove a point about something, that these three articles, Google admitting the assassination, the CIA trying to deny MK Ultra and all the conspiracy theories, and the fact that the post-millennial posted this, basically showing the negligence and incompetence of our agencies in chronological order for 90 minutes. This can't be real. If it is, it's either five. This is like gross negligence. It has also been revealed. Seen them. They identify Sean in life. It's just it just doesn't make sense, guys. I'm sorry. That's just not possible. It's just not one. This is what I'm gonna say. It's a reason everyone's feeling the way they feel. It's a reason we're all seeing this right now and it's happening the way it's happening. It's a reason that, we're all in this situation right now trying to figure out how to get through it. No one believes what they actually saw, but we're trying to figure out what we actually saw. It is not funny, man. I don't want to make light of the situation. I don't. I don't like doing that. But, but, excuse me, but it's very obvious that something went wrong or something went horribly right because now we have Harris who's been endorsed by the Obamas officially now on a phone call, the Clintons by letter, Schumer. I don't know if it was Schumer. I might be wrong. Excuse me. I know Pelosi. I know Biden. I know a few others in the Democratic Party have pretty much nominated Harris, and she's also raised upwards of around, I believe, hundreds of millions of dollars right now. So right now it's out that she's raised 200 million in the first week. Last night it was 100, so it could have changed, but honestly, this they're putting all their chips on her, but she still hasn't named a vice president. All right. Now Kamala Harris is leading the trail. She's trying to go hard. She's rubbed Bibi the wrong way. Now Netanyahu has something to say. We talked about that too last night. Bibi didn't, it wasn't disrespect that Bibi took it as. Remember, Bibi's just a puppet also. So, he's playing his role also. But Kamala came in and she's all about the ceasefire and getting the hostages back. She's took a very strong approach to Bibi, and Bibi kind of felt insulted by it because I guess he assumes that he wasn't there on that time. But Kamala is just trying to show the world that she can be president. Trump called her disrespectful and told her and basically told Bibi that the Democratic Party is dangerous. No more dangerous than it was when he was donating to it back in the day, and that's a whole other conversation. But Kamala's on the campaign trail right now. In the news, they're calling her as the border czar. I really wouldn't call her that. She was supposed to be in charge of heading the border. That was the idea, even though they say that never happened. I think it did. Um, right now, we have 3,000 migrants coming to the border to make it here before the election. And that should tell you everything. And those same migrants that have crossed the border are now able to vote and legally purchase firearms. So apparently, whatever she's doing as border czar is not working in the favor of us, but she's managed to raise $200 million for her first presidential campaign. Congratulations, right? Now, if they don't give this woman a vice president, I'm going to assume that she's not going to be president and they're just waiting to get all the money in before they remove her and make whoever they want the president or the presidential nominee for the Democratic Party. Do you understand what I'm saying right now? Kamala is the campaign horse right now. Like, she's out there, chucks and pearls, going to the meetings, meeting with Bibi after the fact. She's trying to be strong. She got her campaigns out slandering Trump. Trump got his campaigns out slandering Harris. Right now, we got 3 months. She has $200 million allegedly in the first week. Now, whoever takes over and goes from there is going to have a $200 million pot to campaign with. Are they still going to win? Absolutely the hell not. I just don't see it. Not at all. I don't see it. I'll tell you the truth. Okay? So, my thought for who's going to be her running mate, I just got to feel Gavin Newsom is going to show his face. I just got the feels. It's going to be between Clinton, possibly an Obama, but I'm feeling Gavin Newsom. I'm not feeling Josh Shapiro so much. I think that's a horrible move to America if you put Josh Shapiro as vice president, and with tensions in America regarding Palestine and Israel, that's just not a good idea. My opinion only. Say what you want. All right. Where are we at? We're moving on to the next article. You remember that guy named Al Gore? So Al Gore is giving his stamp of approval. Congratulations. Al Gore endorses Harris. That's the kind of climate champion we need in the White House. More taxes through climate change. If we tax the American people, we can change the temperature to 2 degrees less. This is reported by The Hill, and this was yesterday's report at 4:38 Eastern Standard Time by Sarah Fortinsky. Former Vice President Al Gore on Sunday endorsed Vice President Harris for president, joining a choir of Democrats supporting her bid to replace President Biden as the party's likely nominee. Gordon, a prominent environmental activist, cited Harris' past support for action addressing climate change in making his endorsement. Excuse me. As prosecutor, Kamala Harris took on big oil companies and she won. As VP, she cast the tie-breaking vote to pass the most significant investment in climate solutions in history, the Inflation Reduction Act. Gore said in a statement on the social platform X, formerly known as Twitter, "That's the kind of climate champion we need in the White House." So Gore's giving his stamp, and, that means that we're probably going to get taxed more if it rains more. Climate change is based on how much we pay in taxes. So that's pretty much where we're at with that one right now. Congratulations, America. We're stuck with it. So we're all hoping that eventually they stop taxing us into the ground for the quote unquote climate change. And I know a lot of people believe in climate change. I'm not skeptic. I just understand that there are other systems in play that create climate change. And when we mention the deep state in technology, we like to mention the almighty DARPA. And when we mention the almighty DARPA, I like to mention the toy that we call HARP. I like to mention that they understand how to manipulate the ionosphere, and they know how to manipulate storms and weather through patents, through barium and aluminum, and they like to make clouds. This is real. They can do that. Let's not act like it's unheard of. There are patents for this, okay? Okay. With so much at stake in this year's election, from strengthening democracy in the U.S. and abroad to expanding opportunity for the American people to accelerating climate action, I'm proud to endorse Kamala Harris for president, he added. Many Democrat officials have backed Harris, who faces no serious challenger to lead the ticket, and who has already secured enough delegates to support the win in the nomination. Former President Clinton, former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton both endorsed Harris' bid when Biden announced on the 21st of July he would no longer seek the nomination. Former President Obama and First Lady Michelle Obama also endorsed Harris' candidacy in the past week over the phone. Now, there's a video of that. It could all be fake, but it remains to be seen. They still are saying right now there's no one there for the left to put out. They're still saying it, but for some reason, no one is feeling like Kamala's about to really run for president, right? Does anyone else feel that way? Because I don't feel it. I'm just pointing out the obvious. Gore served as Clinton's vice president. He ran for president in 2000 but got cheated by then candidate George W. Bush in historic election. You know why that was historic? Because they found all the ballot boxes and tickets on the ground on the side of the road, and some were torched. Some had been doused in bleach. And it just so happened to happen in the state of Florida where his brother, Jeb Bush, was governor. Riddle me that one, right? It's not like election fraud has never happened in America. Be real. It's happened plenty of times. If you didn't think it happened, slap yourself. Slap yourself. It happened. They have been stealing the election for a long time. No matter how they play it out, it's gonna happen. There's some type of trickery in it. Always. Always, always, always. Looking at the camera. Stop trusting them. Same issue you get every 4 years or every 8 years. Shit's rigged. It's been rigged for a long time. This is nothing new. Absolutely nothing new. All right? Now, before we get into our next article, let me see where we're at. We're going to have a quick message from our sponsor, quick minute. Here you go.
What's up, y'all? This is the Daily Rabbit Hole. Hey, make sure to download the Rumble app. Once you download it, search for my channel, The Daily Rabbit Hole, and follow the channel directly on the app. This will make sure that you get a notification every time we go live. Click the link in the description or pin live chat to download the Rumble app on your phone. It's free. If you prefer to watch this on the big screen, though, it's also available for Apple TV, Android TV, Fire TV, Roku, LG, and Samsung TVs. All you need to do is search for and download Rumble.
All right, guys, I'm back. Faces in front of you. Now, we've gotten through some articles right now, and what we're trying to understand with the deep state is why they're going in this direction, okay? So far, we've covered that the Trump assassination is a shit show. Possibly they're trying to put the fire out, but it's also fueling another fire with us or other people in the conspiracy world, because now no one actually believes these events are real. And part of the plan, part of not of the plan, it's weird. Create the problem and give us a solution, create the reaction, and you get us to react in certain ways. It's a weird construct that they do. It's called Hegelian dialect, but that's just how it's been going. So they're all denying this. Google's omitting search listings. The CIA is trying to deny that they use a Manchurian candidate. And it was also revealed that the counter snipers were watching this man for 90 minutes. So at this point, it's pretty confirmed that this shit is not what we think it is, and we need to stop playing with it. All right. We also covered Kamala Harris getting $200 million in her first week of being on her campaign, right? So we're moving along, we're moving along, we're moving along. Now, in the world of psyops, I got something for you. Where is it? I got something for you. The world of psyops. You guys got to be smart when they show up. Hundreds of communists march in Philadelphia. Yep, that's what you're looking at. On Sunday, hundreds of communists marched in the city of Philadelphia. In a clip uploaded by the Revolutionary Communists of America, or the RCA, hundreds of communists were seen waving communist flags while marching in the streets of Philadelphia. RCA wrote on X, "Say hello to America's communist generation." In a separate post, the group wrote, "Join the party that will overthrow capitalism in our lifetime." I just want to point out something. You notice how every time these groups come out perfectly, the flags, the shirts, who is doing this? Always notice the organization. You can typically tell grassroots, and then you can tell coordinated. Grassroots aren't so organized to where they're all dressed alike, perfect banners. Like, they spent over thousands of dollars on flags. I'm sure they're getting flags from the same place. It just comes off that way. So where exactly is all of this coming from? I always tell you the deep state works through institutions and grassroots programs. That's just something that I've always understood. And that's how it comes off, because that's where a lot of the young people who want to be heard are at. These people who have these kind of beliefs are typically at your institutions, and they come in numbers. So when you get a small grassroots together, you get a giant organized march. And they usually do this. They'll put it out on Facebook and Twitter and be like, hey, we're going to organize here and see who shows up. But a lot of times in these instances with the deep state and psyops and just false flag events, we notice an abundance of really good organization early. Like I said that as soon as the Israeli attacks happened, that the next day, 6 cities having protests, the most well organized protests with hundreds of thousands of people come out, and they're automatically in the spot, same flag, same shirt, same banner. Kind of like how the people coming across the border always got banners and flags and clean clothes and nice jackets and North Face and all this expensive stuff. It just seems like someone's aiding all of this. That's what I'm getting to. That's what I'm getting to right now, is that it always comes off as someone aiding the problem. Create the problem, create the reaction, give them the solution. They go from there. Okay? It always comes off that way. Always. I just wanted to put that one out there and let you know that this is a real thing. They're talking about class war. Look, always notice they go places where no one is really at. I say that about the Fed boys. I say that about anything. If you want real change, you go to the places where the people are. On a Sunday, downtown Philadelphia, and I'm pretty sure they got the streets blocked off, because this is why they're marching in the street. This is organized, people. This is organized chaos. Order out of chaos. It looks settled. Trust me, it's coming in many features. It's coming as the pro-Hamas, pro-Israeli marches and incidents in Capitol Hill and all these little places. It's going to come off as the BLM real soon with this Sonia Massey thing going on. I told you guys last night, order out of chaos, organized chaos. 2012, Alton Sterling. 2016, Trayvon Martin. 2020, George Floyd. 2024, Sonia Massey. You're going to see all major protests on that election year. This is the year. Sonia Massey is going to be the one. They're already in Chicago marching. This is nothing new, people, okay? We are here. This is it. Pay attention. The workers united will never be defeated. 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 There we go. There's absolutely nobody out there. There's no one out there that actually matters. Are you guys hearing me? There's no one that actually matters out there to give a shit about what they're talking about right now. That, my friends, is what we call psyop. Take it in. So what's going to happen is, like myself right now, we're going to show you through a very small lens. But see, my lens is very honest. I'm telling you this is a psyop. I'm not going to sit here and tell you, oh, man, we got groups just marching. They're talking about bringing communism back. Communism never died. It never went anywhere. I don't know why we're all acting shocked. Oh, my God, communism. It's been here the whole time. The fuck? Stop it.
Good evening, we are up and we will be on special events. I'll be checking in with them momentarily.
Okay. Hello. Okay.
Silver.
Good evening. Music on the theater. How do you mention?
Good evening, we are up and we will be on special events. I'll be checking in with them momentarily.
Okay. Hello. Okay.
Silver.
Good evening. Music on the theater. How do you mention?
Hey, George.
14.
Farming with my art.
Listen, guys, ain't a soul out there that give a damn about what they talking about right now. Again, this is part of the tricks and the charades and all this stuff the deep state likes to do. Them people probably got paid and they gave them flags. I'm telling you now, if this was a real protest, you wanna aggravate some people, you don't march in the downtown area where there's nobody at. Who gonna do something out there? Nobody. That's just display. They want to capture that moment on camera, put it all over the internet, and for people who believe in all this extra, you know, there's so much issue. Man, they're creating a lot of this issue. A lot of people in America are quite done with this shit. We're done with this show. Even the people who don't believe the stuff I believe or stuff you believe, it's people tired of this. At some point, it has to stop. It's just petty. It's pretty petty right now, and people are over it in all parts. All right. So with these news articles, like I say, I always want to give you that viewpoint to see from a different lens and a different angle and a different voice. Like I know myself being on here as a streamer could come off as, you know, this man's fear mongering. He's just trying to get views, and I hear a lot of that. I read the comments. But I genuinely want to tell you the truth about what's going on. And I tell you the stuff that I'm finding is laughable. It's complete comedy, right? But there are people who are eating this with a spoon right now, and they can't help themselves because they don't know no better. And it's okay. We don't judge you for it. You're not the only one. I'm still learning stuff. I'm not blind to this shit. I can clearly see that they're playing with us and they're fucking us over. That's not the point. The point of the matter is that the truth is out there. You just have to want to know, and you have to be willing to find it and go look for it. I got plenty of articles to always do this. I like to do this stuff. I enjoy this stuff. I like tracking the deep state because I know the deep state's been there the whole time. I haven't known everything I've known now all my life, but I've come across. So the whole point of my show is to get y'all to realize that there is something really weird going on. We're going to get to some war news too before we go. All right? Now, ominous warning coming out of Turkey for Israel right now. Warning from Erdogan to Israel. Just as we enter Karabakh, whatever, and Libya, we will do the same to them. The president, the AK party chairman, Recep Tayyip Erdogan, attended the party's meeting in Rizay province. We must be very strong so that Israel cannot do these things in Palestine. Just as we entered the Karabakh and Libya, we will do the same to them. There is nothing to prevent us from doing so. We just need to be strong enough to take these steps. Turkey has been talked about in this conflict for the last 4 months, but Turkey has not inserted themselves into this conflict just yet. Now, Turkey's waiting, and Turkey's a much larger military than Israel and a very formidable military around the world. Turkey is not to be played with. Like in the world power of military, America's up there. You can put China up there, sure. They haven't had a real conflict in so long. So they're more of subversion in China, more of the intelligence side. I wouldn't say China's ready for boots on ground just yet. And Russia's been sharpening its teeth the last 2 years with Ukraine. So if they weren't war ready before, they're pretty war ready now. And Turkey, for the most part, has the resources to handle itself. So does a lot of the other regions in the area. And what's transpiring is basically all the powers pretty much making their stance on the conflict because there's no ceasefire. At least they haven't reached a ceasefire yet. Turkey makes this very interesting, though, because now Israel can't win against Turkey alone. Understand something, guys. Hezbollah is a problem for Israel. So is Hamas. Hamas is a little bit more easier for the Israelis to handle, but Hezbollah, along with funding from Iran and funding from Turkey, and Turkey entering themselves into this conflict, creates a whole new dynamic on the battlefield. So understand that this isn't really conventional warfare. This is going to be pretty much urban warfare or modern warfare, what we know in cities and towns and places like that. It's not going to be wide open. It's a lot of strikes going on right now between Palestine, Israel, Hamas, and all these places. I won't say Palestine per se because they're kind of not. It's more or less the proxy groups helping Palestine and they're sending missiles over to the IDF right now. It's been hell. It's been a crazy couple days out there in the Middle East. But right now we got Turkey out here pretty much saying the same thing. Turkey's ready to move forward on Israel if they have to. Now, I'm thinking this is just a ploy to show Saudi Arabia that if you continue to back Israel, we will continue to, linger at the border and maybe become a threat. Because everyone's taking sides right now. Saudi Arabia is not out of this completely in the clear. They just have to kind of get themselves prepared. This is why I think this conflict is going to bubble 2025 more than it's going to bubble this year. We're going to have to get out of these elections first for everything to take place, because Bibi's already made his rounds to ask for support through Trump and through Harris. He's already talked to Congress. He's already rallied. They clapped. They cheered. I'm sure they did a sacrifice after. It's not funny. I know I made a joke of it, but that's just kind of how it goes. With the deep state, you got to understand that there are puppets at play, and then there's one main puppeteer doing it all. Now, whoever that is, you say it's the families, you can say it's the Trilateral Commission, you can say the Committee of 300, you can say the Windsors, the Rothschilds, the Bundys, the Ashers, you could name them forever, forever, forever. What matters is that this particular small group of people are controlling the masses and leading us straight to hell further than what we already are. We're already like in the second, third level. At this point, we're getting pretty deep right now. So Turkey inserting themselves is real. It's not enough to have North Korea, China, Russia, Yemen, and a couple other factions on your ass right now. Now you got Turkey on your ass right now. So Bibi has a reason to be here trying to talk to everybody, because he's going to eventually need some help. Because if Turkey decides to put anything on the ground, it's going to be Israel's ass. And if I'm not mistaken, I know some F-16s just got delivered. I don't know if I kept that report. Oh, no, but I did keep this one. And before we go, I wanted to end it on this one. This is how I wanted to end it. I'm glad I got it in order. Putin offers political asylum to French citizens traumatized by the 2024 Olympics. Oh my God, this man is so petty. So apparently, if you were traumatized in France this past weekend, Putin put it out that you can seek political asylum and come to Russia. And to be fair, it's a lot of people that's going to take him up on that offer, guys. I'm going to be honest with you. Like, what they displayed at the Olympics was pretty bad. Like, it was a ceremony for the Hunger Games, sure. They got their best puppets playing in the Hunger Games, and respect to those people in big moments and playing in the Hunger Games. I mean, the Olympics and competing. But I always want to say the people that you are competing for and being sponsored by are horrible individuals. There's no other way to put it. The fact that Putin got on here and told the French people, you can come here from the psychological suffering and you can get your life together. And to be honest, he can make a better claim in Russia, because Russia's been sanctioned the last 2 years and they seem to still be thriving without a problem. They don't seem like they're struggling too bad, if anyone's noticed. Like, I just want to put that out there. Considering the fact that Russia's been sanctioned, they've had their money basically, they took the dollar from, this is what I'm trying to get out. They sanctioned the dollar against them. They cut off resources to them. And, we've had a lot of outages in that area, and they've actually bombed certain parts of it that they're not putting out in mainstream media. Russia is still standing and taking people in right now, as long as you maintain the rules and don't talk about the government, which is pretty much everywhere right now. You can't talk about any government openly except for America, and they get a little shaky when you do that every now and then. Here's the video. I'm not gonna play the video. It was really disgusting. I'm gonna be honest, and not because of just the LGBTQ and all that. It's disgusting because they do it as a ceremony. They do it to almost mock us or mock the Most High. I'm not uberly religious, I'm not a Christian, I'm not Catholic. I have read all their literature. I studied their literature. I like to think of myself as a free thinker. I believe in the Most High, but what I'm saying is they tend to mimic each other. They tend to make fun of each other. That's the whole point of quote unquote Satan. I mean, isn't that what the book says? He makes fun of it, the blasphemous subjects and images. So think about that. I'm going to go ahead and play. We're going to go through it. Fuck it. Here we are. End of the show anyway, right? All right, guys, look. I'm going to be real honest with you what you're watching. 2014 to 2024, 10 years. The reason why 2014 looks the way it does is because, in my honest opinion, during that Olympics, I wouldn't say that's 24. That had to be the Winter Games. Because 2012 was the weird one. That was the big one. So this is probably the Winter Games. So this is the Winter Games Olympics. It has to be because 2012 had Olympics. Anywho, in certain ceremonies, they still were playing the facade of the fairy tale of the world. I think a lot of times when we saw them do those depictions, it was the fairy tale still being played out. Like, people still believed in the fairy tale of America easily. This is the beginning of I would like to say 2012, Obama's tenure as president was really the beginning of the hot conspiracies of there's a coup being played out. A lot of just the bread and circus is happening at full level, full speed ahead, bread and circus, people. So understand, when you start seeing this stuff, don't be shocked. You just need to let it be known, say, I do not consent, and go through your motions. But eventually, something gonna have to shake, because as we get to this election, it's gonna get crazier and more hectic and more psychotic and more deranged and unhinged. It's people out here running people over for Trump signs. I don't know if you guys heard that report of someone riding on an ATV hit a man putting a Trump sign up and killed him. People are unhinged right now. Or Biden's hair sign up, one of them. They're unhinged right now, people. And they're creating the reaction, and they're going to give us the problem, and then they're going to give us the solution. And when we get the solution, by the time the solution comes to us, we're going to beg for it. We're going to beg for it. Okay? Hegelian dialect. Look it up. Create the reaction. We lose our minds. Executive order. Executive order. Executive order. Because guess who has full control of America in the event of executive order or instability inside of the country? It goes to FEMA. And guess where FEMA's headquartered at, people? Headquartered in Geneva, Switzerland, with the Red Cross, the Department of Education, and the Department of Agriculture, medicine, and everything else that we think is helping us is coming from Geneva, Switzerland. If you know what I'm saying, you know what I'm saying. 33 headquarters in Geneva, Switzerland, all have executive order inside of America and everywhere else in the world. I'm going to say it again before I go. 33 headquarters in America. The other executive orders that will lead us into martial law, extreme censorship. Basically, great day. I'll see you some